Good afternoon. Welcome to the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance's 2020 7 to Save announcement. I'm Nick Mitchell, Chair of the Board of Directors. The 7 to Save program is central to our work in saving endangered places, and it's been very effective in helping draw new attention and new resources to irreplaceable landmark properties around the state. It's also helped the Preservation Alliance meet our broader goals of increasing investment in historic places, demonstrating the many benefits of historic preservation, and strengthening leadership and support for preservation activity. Throughout today's event, I hope that what you hear and see conveys the strength and the passion of the many people involved in saving our shared heritage, the varied challenges and solutions for the preservation movement, and the complicated and difficult hurdles that these projects and others like them face in the days and the years ahead. We have held this announcement event at many tremendous places around the state over the years. Places like Daniel Webster Farm in Franklin and the Wolfboro Town Hall to celebrate their successful rescues and revitalizations as we unveil a new list. We're sorry not to be at one of those sites with all of you, but we appreciate your joining us this afternoon. When we can, safely and successfully, we look forward to resuming in-person gatherings and showcasing the many spectacular historic places that our work celebrates, supports, and helps to transform New Hampshire. I'd like to end with a personal observation if I can. Every fall, the board members of the Alliance take a road trip around New Hampshire, visiting with the people behind the projects we've been involved in. Those who've been recognized by 7 to Save invariably tell us that the recognition was a turning point for them, giving them a real leg up in both community awareness and in fundraising. All of us at the Preservation Alliance sincerely hope the 7 to Save designation creates many new opportunities for all 7 of this year's designees. Thank you.
You're here. Thank you, Nick. I'm Jennifer Goodman. I'm the director of the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance. Just sort of reinforcing what Nick Mitchell just said, we do feel like this is a really signature program for the Preservation Alliance that can have great impacts. We're in our 15th year of 7 to Save now, and we continue to post what we think of as an impressive 50% success rate. You want to wave your hand if you're associated with a 7 to Save from the past? I think you have to wave and scroll at the same time. I know a lot of you are. The 125-ton Gale School in Belmont rolling out of the way of the wrecking ball that likely includes childcare and other community needs, and the Currier Museum's negotiating the purchase of the Chandler House with its incredible interiors from the Diocese of Manchester after years of work are just 2 of recent major 7 to Save victories that show us how creativity, never say never tenacity, and investments by neighbors, local businesses, and supporters can make a huge difference. These landmarks, as you know, are the heart and soul of our daily life and feel even more important to us during these uncertain times. My job in this program is to introduce representatives of the 7, and that's coming up very soon. The end of the program, I'm just going to offer a very brief kind of state of the state related to our nonprofit statewide historic preservation organization and the preservation movement in New Hampshire. A few technical notes. I think you know that we're recording this so others can enjoy it later. So Nicole's keeping you muted unless you're a presenter. Do use the chat box. We'd love to see chats over the course of our time together in this program. Send a message about a favorite 7 to Save from the past, a note of appreciation to folks associated with the new 7, or anything else you want to chat about preservation. We'll capture those. And we're also going to be sending you information following the program with more information on the listees and how to be in touch with those folks. We'll be sending that after today's program. I'm going to turn the over to Nicole Flynn, who most of you have already met. She's our new field service representative, doing a great job with 7 to Save, as well as other community issues around the state. She's going to offer a little bit on the 7 to Save process, and then we'll get to the unveiling.
Thank you, Jennifer. I want to express our sincere thanks to our 7 to Save Selection Committee, Alice D'Souza, Michael Duffy, Nadine Miller, and Rebecca Mitchell. They used the same criteria from past rounds, considering the property's historical, architectural significance, the severity of the current threat, and the extent to which 7 to Save designation would help in preserving the property. This year's listees are outstanding examples of the historic resources that make our communities unique, vibrant, welcoming places to work, live, and visit. As we announce the 7 to Save, a spokesperson from each project or advocate will tell you about the resource, the threats, and what kinds of help are needed to make a difference. Jennifer?
So here we go. Drum roll, please. The first listee is from way up north, the Judge Ripley House in Colebrook. And here to tell us about what's going on there is the instructor for the Building Construction and Restoration Carpentry Program at the Canaan School District, Eugene Reed. Eugene? He's unmuted. Do you find him, Nicole? Hopefully he's not already reading his script. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, Ripley House in Colebrook.
Oh, the 1870 Greek Revival House and Carriage Barn on Bridge Street lies within the downtown historic district, adjacent to a church of the same era and across the street from the Colebrook Area Historical Society. But the Judge Ripley House has seen better days. The lack of regular maintenance and widespread moisture infiltration has led to structural and cosmetic damage, and both the home and the connected barn are at risk. 3 years ago, a community planning process suggested the vacant structure be torn down to create a parking lot. But local business leaders, educators, and concerned citizens opposed that idea and advocated instead for saving and reusing it to prevent yet another loss in the historic district. Thanks to the Tilton North Country Foundation, last year the house was acquired by the Building Construction and Restoration Carpentry Program at the Career Center that serves students in northern Coles County, New Hampshire, and northern Essex County, Vermont. The plan was to have the students rehabilitate the house as part of their school curriculum. There is no better way to introduce students to the trades and to preservation than to restore an old home. A wonderful opportunity to expand the program's impact and benefit the town. The New Hampshire Preservation Alliance and the Preservation Trust of Vermont, with funding from the Northern Borders Region Commission, awarded the project a brick and mortar grant of $100,000 earlier this year. Only one of only 3 in the state. Unfortunately, the students haven't yet begun the work because of COVID-19. And raising the necessary additional funds has been delayed too. Meanwhile, the vacant building has further deteriorated. This summer brought another setback. Project managers determined that the carriage barn was beyond repair and would have to be completely rebuilt, an unbudgeted extra expense. And since the pandemic began, the cost of building materials has risen dramatically. Success would be sweet, maintaining the mixed use character of a highly visible downtown street corner, giving students real world career experience, and returning a significant historic property to the tax rolls. We hope 7 to Save will help us get there. Thank you. I look forward to sharing all this with my students tomorrow.
Great, great. Okay, wonderful project that needs help and support. Next up of the 7 is St. Joseph Church in Laconia. We have an active community member, Tara Shore, here with us today to talk about what's going on there.
Good afternoon. St. Joseph's Parish was established to serve the Irish immigrant population of Laconia beginning in 1870. This is the 3rd church occupied by the growing parish, built on a large lot it acquired along with the John W. Buzzell House in the bustling city center. The public library and railroad depot, much admired landmarks, are nearby. The elegant Buzzell House is to the west. The parish constructed and operated a two-story school to the east. Designed in the Gothic Revival style and made of granite, this church was consecrated in 1930. A pipe organ built in 1890 is still in use today. The building is in good condition, though it could use some minor repairs. The real threat is impending demolition. The Diocese of Manchester merged two parishes in the city in 2010, leaving St. Joseph and the school at risk. While their plans were put on hold in 2019 due to a public outcry for preservation, there are constraints on the use of decommissioned churches, and any alternative would require considerable funding. St. Joseph Church Preservation Society was formed in 2019 to try to save the building from demolition. The adjacent school building has found a new owner, the city of Laconia. Laconia city officials and many in the community are committed to finding an appropriate reuse for the church, thus saving a beloved and beautiful landmark.
Oh, it's another good one. Thank you, Tara, for sharing that, and all your work, of course, true of all of our presenters. The third of our 7 to Save is the Langdon Congregational Church. And here to talk about that building and the issues around it is Dennis McCleary. He's a volunteer to the Congregational Church. He's also chairman of the Langdon Heritage Commission. Dennis?
Thank you. Building on the successful restoration of the Langdon Meeting House, the 7 to Save building in 2008, and listed on the National Register in 2018, the members of this parish, with others from the community, have come together to preserve this landmark church. Langdon Congregational Church was built in 1842 on a hill with vistas of the Vermont mountains across the Connecticut River. It stands at the heart of our little village. Greek and Gothic revival details give it a strong classic look, but beneath that exterior, there are serious deficiencies. The rubble foundation is failing, and excess moisture has rotted much of the floor structure. The roof was in such critical condition in 2019 that emergency repairs to the rafter knees had to be made immediately. Moreover, the building needs major updating, including new electrical wiring, heating and plumbing systems, a bathroom, ADA compliance and life safety code issues must be addressed as well. New church leadership, along with community volunteers, are united in their commitment to accomplish this task in several well-planned phases that will stabilize and upgrade this building for non-denominational religious and expanded secular use. We'll need generous financial contributions to complete this task.
Thank you, Dennis. A really important community landmark. Another community landmark, some similar, some different kinds of issues, is the next step for our 7 to Save. It's the Mont Vernon Town Hall. And today we have with us the chair of the Heritage Commission there, Charles Baker. Mr. Baker? Oops. I think you have to unmute yourself. Still,
I thought I had.
Start over. We thought you
Okay.
had to. Start over, please. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon. Mount Vernon's old meeting house was built in 1781 from oak timbers donated by local farmers when the town separated from nearby Amherst. In 1837, after passage of the Toleration Acts, it was moved across the street and expanded to include a second story with religious functions housed on the second floor and town offices on the first. Today, as the town hall, the building needs critical improvements to continue to function safely and effectively. The Mount Vernon Historical Society Museum presently occupies the large open second floor, whose original choir box was converted to a stage for public performances when the House of Worship moved to its new home across the street. Today, accessibility and code issues limit use of this space. The building was added to the State Historic Register in 2016 as an early step in the town's efforts to address the building's worsening condition. Structural work is essential, as well as electrical and fire safety and heating and energy efficiency upgrades. The leaking roof was replaced this past summer. Mont Vernon's residents support preserving the town hall building, but the town's limited tax base requires additional resources to accomplish the phased strategy championed to rehabilitate this building. Loss of the town hall would be a severe blow to Mont Vernon's historic character. Preserving it for continued public use and enjoyment benefits all Mont Vernon citizens. On behalf of Mont Vernon, we are honored the Preservation Alliance has selected its town hall as a 2027 to Save designee. And it's truly an honor to be part of you're an indispensable catalyst in our journey to preserve Mont Vernon's town hall. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for those kind words and for all the good work that you're doing for this important community landmark. Another irreplaceable New Hampshire asset is up next as our next listee on our 2020 list. It's the Tilton Island Park Bridge. And here to tell us about it is the chair of the Tilton Historical Society, John Ciriello.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here with everyone. This metal truss bridge is the only surviving example in the country of a patented Truesdell truss, constructed of both cast iron and wrought iron with wooden decking. Built in 1881, linking Main Street to a picturesque island park on the Winnipesaukee River, it was a gift from the town's namesake and benefactor, Charles Eliot Tilton. Structural concerns include corrosion at various joints and cracking of metal elements, likely caused by age, salt splash from the adjacent public highway, and possible shifting of the substructure. The town last made repairs in 1994 in consultation with the New Hampshire DOT and the New Hampshire DHR, prompted by concerns that the dry-laid stone wall along the river was shifting and compressing the truss. The Tilton Island Park Bridge is the vehicle that brings our community together. It's well used, especially during the warmer months, for summer concerts, our Native American festival, our Halloween in the park, weddings, picnics, and neighbors visiting neighbors on a hot summer day. The gracefully arching bridge and the water it spans provide an appealing welcome as one approaches the historic downtown from the east. The town is now seeking funding to carry out an inspection and condition assessment of the 140-year-old bridge, along with a detailed preservation plan. Without this attention, it may well succumb to the elements and neglect, just as many of our metal truss bridges in New Hampshire have. Losses that prompted a group listing of metal truss bridges to 7 to Save in 2008. Listed to the National Register in 1980, this bridge is a treasure that must be preserved and protected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. An important bridge in and of itself, and also reminder that the fate of metal truss bridges are going the wrong direction. So hopefully this can be a positive model for others.
Thank you.
So 2 more left on our list of 7. And the next up is the Gasholder building in Concord. For this program, we have with us John Horowitz, a high school student here in Concord, who will describe its significance and its current status. John is part of a varied group of multiple generations of people interested and committed to the preservation of this iconic landmark.
Good afternoon. The Concord Gasholder building is a striking visual for travelers along Interstate 93 in our state capital. Its brick walls, round form, and tilted cupola are as distinctive a part of the skyline as the gold dome of our Capitol building. A relic of the gaslighting age, this is believed to be the only enclosed gas holder in the United States to survive with its floating iron tank intact. Unused since 1952, It survived while nearly all of the surrounding structures of the Concord Gaslight Company fell to the wrecking ball. Then in 2012, a falling tree badly damaged the roof. Temporary repairs were made, but deterioration of the building continued, and the owner, Liberty Utilities, has been grappling with hard choices about repairing and maintaining an obsolete facility. The building's owner, Liberty Utilities, is planning on securing a demolition permit for the circa 1888 structure by the end of the year, and the Preservation Alliance is working with the utility and the city of Concord to find a redevelopment solution that saves this rare survivor and benefits the city, region, and nation. In a rare move, the 7 to Save Selection Committee put forward this property that was first listed in 2013 because of its national significance, increased threats to its continued existence, and the revived preservation effort that is underway this year in the face of its proposed demolition. Thank you.
Another important one with real threat hanging over it, imminent threat hanging over it. Thank you, John, for being with us and for your interest in this iconic landmark. So here we go with number 7. During the pandemic, it feels like we're facing both long-standing challenges in the preservation world as well as new ones. The committee wanted to feature a theme on this year's list to draw attention to a far-reaching issue that needs our attention: New Hampshire's main streets. Here to offer us perspective on the needs and opportunities of this thematic nomination is Kathy LaPlante, longtime executive director over 10 years of New Hampshire's Effective Main Street program and a Granite State resident. She brings national knowledge from her role serving hundreds of communities throughout the country each year in her current role, which is Senior Program Officer for the National Main Street Center. Kathy?
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm honored to be joining the Preservation Alliance today with these announcements. Main streets across the state, so vital to our economic and social well-being, are vulnerable or losing ground. COVID's restrictions and changes have magnified the challenges they face, from theaters to sacred places to retail, dining, and lodging establishments. These resources are more than just buildings. They are the centers of our community where we shop, gather, live, share a meal, support our local artists, vendors, and neighbors. A recent study that we just conducted at the National Main Street Center reinforces what many of us know instinctually. Of the nation's almost 30 million small businesses, nearly 7.5 million small businesses may be at risk of closing permanently over the next 5 months, and 3.5 million are at risk of closing within 2 months. COVID-19 has had a devastating impact on small businesses' revenue, and millions of Americans employed by our nation's smallest businesses are at risk of unemployment as a result. Main Street investment, especially in historic buildings and streetscapes, provides greater property tax dollars per square foot than new constructions. Studies from the National Trust for Historic Preservation, American Express, and others have shown the benefits of investing in our downtowns, main streets, and also local Main Street programs. Local people crave, or young people, not local, young people crave authenticity and character where they live, work, and visit. Our neighborhoods are denser, more walkable, and are served by existing infrastructure and offer more diverse and affordable housing options. Historic downtowns provide incubator space for small businesses. And as reported on ABC just Sunday night, 45% of all American jobs are from small businesses. Main streets have the potential to play a key role in strengthening economic recovery as they provide locally available goods and services, attract visitors and new residents, both young and old. They are places that define our communities, encourage community pride and engagement, and foster creative expression. All of us can play a role in their continued survival and success. This holiday season, we can all do more to help our Main Street and small businesses by going in person or online to New Hampshire-owned small businesses. Thank you.
These 7 really represent what's tremendous about New Hampshire's communities. I'm sure you agree. They also represent enormous challenges. at the Preservation Alliance, we're facing these challenges with optimism and energy, and I hope you are too. I think you are too. I think because of our 7 to Save track record, that gives us hope. The tenacity of today's 7 to Save speakers and their associates, and the real arc or trend of positive activity and results we see at the Preservation Alliance and in the movement here in the Granite State. The Preservation Alliance has been responding to increased demands for help and services, to increase investment, to increase understanding, to build the base of the movement. We've helped a near record of 120 community projects this past year. We also got a record number of grants out on the street into buildings, which we're really happy about. And when the pandemic hit, we shifted to a series of popular webinars that many of you have participated in, as well as other virtual activities, and served more people per month than we had in a long time. We help folks plan home repair projects, save barns, address legacy property planning issues, and tackle complex community projects like the ones before us today. We were pleased to bat 800 at town meeting earlier this year with home runs for capital repair and adoption of incentives. We love this statistic from this year that we're in right now, that 100 communities are protecting 603 agricultural structures with a barn tax incentive. We're seeing a great increase in use of preservation tools as a demonstration of increased preservation activity. Barn preservation needs are still up. So is the desire for preservation easements. Some of you have heard me joke that we could turn into the New Hampshire Barn Preservation Alliance. We could turn into the New Hampshire Preservation Easement Society, because there's such demand and interest in those two areas. We were pleased in this past year to help with lots of barn assessments and barn care that help save barns, and added 2 preservation easements to our portfolio. We can do more, and we will do more because of the support and insights and energy of all of you. I'm going to close with 7 quick thank yous, because 7 is the number of the day. First, a big thank you to our 7 to Save sponsors, a great lineup of companies that are helping us in different ways. They're supporting our work with 7 to Save, allowing us to provide free programming, supporting us so we can help listees when the real work begins. I believe Dylan Cruz from TF Moran, architect Dennis Myers, Arch Weathers from Arch Weathers, Historic Sash Works, and others of our representatives from these sponsors are with us in this gathering today. Thank you very much. An incredible board has gotten us to where we are today. You heard from Nick earlier. I think also on this call are Byron Champlin, Michael Duffy, David Choate, Sue Booth, Frank LeMay, Jeannie Forrester, Lorraine Merrill, and Becky Mitchell. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but a fabulous board that we have to work with. Our staff team is also amazing. You got to meet Nicole Flynn here, who's our new field service representative. I know a number of you know the rest of our team: Beverly Thomas, Maggie Steer, Pat Myers, and Rebecca Howland. Thank you to folks in the audience and beyond who join and renew as members, who support our events, who give to our year-end appeal, friends who have included us in their estate plans to help our sustainability way into the future. Thank you to board members and former board members. I know some of them are on this Zoom call, like Liz Hengen, Lynn Monroe, Alice D'Souza, Andy Axman, and others who have really stepped up to help us with a 3-year campaign to help us build capacity. We totally appreciate networks with local groups. We work with them every day, and statewide partners, our friends at the Division of Historical Resources, LCHIP, the Arts Council, Conservation and Housing and Economic Development groups all help us get the work done. And thank you to legislators who have helped build a toolbox over the years with incentives, funds, and policies that help us catalyze more preservation activities. I know Senator Ward's with us. I believe Senator Waters is with us, and many representatives that are associated with the towns where our listees for 2020 stand. So I'm up to 7, 7 in my thank yous. I think this is the largest Zoom gathering we've had so far, with over 100 folks registered. You, the Zoom viewers, represent a great community of individuals whose enthusiasm, commitment, combined knowledge, skills, and passion really fuel the preservation work in New Hampshire. It inspires us, you all inspire us, and hopefully we are inspiring each other to continue our efforts to support our local communities, to tackle really important projects and contribute to the economy in all different kinds of ways. I wish we were applauding and hugging and handshaking in person, but we're not. I do think it's important to do a little hip hip hooray to end the day, if that's all right with you, to cheer on the 7 and also just lift us up and send us off a little bit. So we're going to do 7 hip hip hoorays. No, we're not going to do 7. So are people unmuted, Nicole? We did this at an award celebration and it felt good, a little hokey, but good, and it'll be clunky, but here we go. So I'm going to say hip hip and you guys say hooray. Ready? Hip hip.
Hooray! Hooray!
Hooray!
Hooray!
That's it. Stay healthy.
Hooray!
Thank you. What you do.
Thank you.
All those associated with the 7.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.